Boom! Yes folks, Hume again. How will it going? So we're in the home stretch, election selection. The final four constituencies as we analyze the marginal seats over the last 3 or 4 election cycles, right? Remember, just for the sake of definition, my definition of a marginal is any seat that would have changed hands at least once over the course of the last 3 election cycles, 2007, 2010, and 2015. All right, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the marginal seat of Tunapuna. Now, as always, I make the projection first, and then we do the discussion. So, my projection based on the available mathematical evidence is that Tunapuna would go into the P&M column on the 9th of August, the 10th. So, I am placing Tunapuna in the P&M column, and we're going to go across the graph now and just play up with the figures a little bit, and then we'll come back out here and wind up with a short discussion. So we start off as always with 2007, where the P&M voter tally would have been 50.6% and the non-P&M voter tally would have been 46.8%. We follow that up with 2010, massive anti-P&M, anti-Manning sentiment, 56% for the 56% for the non-P&M voter base and 43.7% to the P&M. And then we go to 2015, where you had a massive upswing, where you had 59.4% for the P&M and 40.3% for the non-P&M. Alright, so based on the data that we have here, the available trend lines show the P&M and the non-P&M numbers diverging even further than they would have been in 2015. Alright, my projection based on the equations there would be Tunapuna 60%, UNC just about 40%. Alright, which is more or less almost the same thing as this, 59.4 and 40.3 respectively. So if this mathematical pattern holds, we expect a victory for the P&M in Tunapuna by a similar-ish margin, maybe a little smaller, who knows, we just have to wait and see what happens. Alright, so that's more or less it for the numbers, so we could close off with a small discussion on the non-numerical aspects of the whole thing. Yes, so Tunapuna was pretty straightforward and easy to call. There was no real mathematical anomalies there. There seems to be a clear trend of a P&M support in Tunapuna, but there's also a clear indication there that in the presence of a nationwide anti-P&M sentiment, the votes could swing dramatically as they would have done in 2010. Alright? Even in 2007, interesting point to note that in the face of a fractured opposition where you had the UNC and the COP, the P&M was still able to tally more votes than both parties combined, which wasn't the case in a few of the constituencies that the P&M would have won that year. Alright, so this is not a seat that people could say, well, the P&M win that because of the splitting of the vote between the UNC and the COP. No, P&M actually beat the combined total of the UNC and the COP in Tunapuna. Alright, so there's a strong current of P&M support in Tunapuna, but as we would have seen in 2010, things could flip. So in 2015, we had massive P&M support demonstrated in Tunapuna, and the same appears to be on course to happen in 2020. So in the absence of any major shift in terms of national public sentiment, I am confident in calling Tunapuna in favor of the P&M. That's basically it. Don't really have not much more to say to it than that. Alright, so I'm going to close out the video now as always with a little discussion about my mathematics. The Tunapuna video is a little different in terms of what I throw it out, because I am at the point now of recruiting people for the actual live face-to-face sessions that we will start in September. Of course, with the current concern about COVID and stuff, we will implement all relevant protocols accordingly. Alright, so the class, my face-to-face class will be in Tunapuna, and those of you who in the area, right, Tunapuna and surrounding areas, the environs, alright, if you're considering coming by me for physical face-to-face sessions for starting from September, WhatsApp 293-5712. You see the little box below the video screen. Send me a message. Alright? Of course, there's always the online platform, the Road to January, where we do a lot of stuff online. As we do topics, we're not going back to teach topics. So we're not going to have people coming to me in September and October and they're now going to start. If you come into me at that point, you'll just have to use the videos coming down the road, because we're going forward. We're moving like the trade union people now. Forward ever, backward never. Alright? And of course, for the AdMass people, we have something special coming up for you too. So stay close, don't go too far. Alright? We will make the notification when the time is right. So that is it where Tunapuna is concerned. So it means that in terms of the order in which I am doing these things, the present count, the last count before this video would have been 19 to the PNM and 18 to the UNC. So with this Tunapuna being placed in the PNM column, the count will now be 20 for the PNM and 18 for the UNC, with 38 seats counted. Alright? That's my humble prediction. Not prediction. Yeah, we had to get away from saying prediction. I am taking pains to underscore that what I'm doing here is not a prediction. It is a projection. Alright, something that we could kind of see happening, but we're not as how to put it, we're not as presumptuous to see that is going to happen, because there are so many variables swirling around in the water that we really can't predict the ultimate result. But we could see certain trends and we could say there's a pretty good chance that this will happen or that will happen, all other conditions being equal. Alright? If the other conditions start to shake up, the final result could be affected as well. So that's it for now. As always, stay in tune, stay in touch, spread the word, and look out. We have plenty more things coming your way.